Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kebicho YouTube channel. And every time I get something, I think it is always wise for me to share it with you so that you may get to see whether it can add value to you or not, and more so, whether it can positively or maybe positively create an impact that may make you to move forward. I would first of all start by telling all my viewers that it's always important you take a bit of time to reflect on what makes other people succeed in their lives, and what makes you maybe to be in the same position that you have been for quite a long time. More often than not, people tend to think that it is luck that makes some people to excel. Others tend to think that it is purely because of forces of the world that makes them to succeed. I'm here to talk about the 7 things poor people do that rich people don't. Very, very important. We all desire to be rich. Of course, the terminology rich is relative, but I tend to think that rich is that position where one can be able to attend to his or financial obligations without necessarily struggling. That is what, as much as the term rich is relative, I tend to think that is basically what it means in a layman's language. That being rich is being able to attend to your financial obligations without necessarily bothering others. And I'll tell you for sure that even before I go to those points, there are some very small things that makes people, even in relationships, to break up because of very petty things in life. And one thing that I have realized in my 30 years now career is basically that we need to appreciate that we are the architects of our own destinies. So, point number one, I'm giving you the heading is properly documented in my page. It is 7 things poor people do that rich people don't. Now, listen to this. Poor people watch TV. Poor people watch TV. I can tell you for sure, without any iota of doubt, that rich people normally don't watch TV. But listen to this. Rich people, they read books. So poor people watch TV, rich people read books. If I may ask you, how many books have you read for the last maybe 2 years? How many books have you read in the last even maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Most of us people don't read. And information is normally hidden in books. If you want to become a good speaker, if you want to become knowledgeable, you can't afford not to read a book. I normally recommend to people that reading a book every day, or maybe getting a book and reading and understanding from whichever angle. You can either buy what we call motivational books. They're very, very important. You can read financial books. You can even read medical journals. It all depends on your area of interest. But the most important thing, read a book. So I've told you that poor people watch TV. And sometimes you find some people running literally to their homes, not to go and, of course, check the homework of their children, not to go and do what we call the CBC assignment, but purely to go and watch programs such as Zora, Kumkumda, Bagia, Kodaria, or maybe to watch some programs that don't add value to them. I'm not saying that the content is not good, but if you want to benefit and to become the person that you'd wish to become in terms of knowledge base, you must read books. Poor people watch TV, rich people read books. Point number two, poor people get paid on time. Most of us people, we enter into an office and we are basically paid a salary. For instance, if you earn a salary of 60,000 shillings, it translates into 2,000 shillings every day. So you are basically paid on time. But rich people normally get paid on results. And in other words, they are paid for their performance. That is why somebody like Eliud Kipchoge can learn for 1 hour, 59 minutes, 40 seconds, and gets paid half a billion shillings. So he's basically paid on performance. So you see, poor people, they get paid on the time that they spend in the employer's territory. But rich people, they get paid on results. The choice is yours. So if you're interested in results, that is what will make you become the person that you have always maybe desired to. Then the other thing, point number three, poor people blame others for their misfortunes. You have no idea. When somebody is not doing pretty well, they start blaming their parents. They never took me to good schools. As a matter of fact, we were not even properly fed. We were not even properly taken care of. They give all types of excuses. Well, our school was the roof was leaking. We had no pair of shoes. How many other people went through similar circumstances, but they have made it in life? So those poor people, they blame others for their misfortunes. Rich people, they take. They don't go blaming the government. They don't go blaming the job that they are working in, the neighbors. No, they take and they own their own failures. And that is how they come up with what we call, they gain the power to change in their lives. So one of the things that's going to make you succeed, do not continually give excuses why you're not where you're supposed to be. Basically, just evaluate yourself and stop this habit of giving excuses for your misfortunes. Poor people focus on savings. Underline this. Poor people focus on savings, whereas rich people, they focus on investment. You can never get rich through savings. And I have told people on very many occasions, and I'm not going to repeat this, that poor people focus on savings, but rich people, they focus on investment. The choice is yours. And I have told you, and I will repeat again and again, nobody ever got rich by putting money in his bank account. And I have told you, the savings that people have in their bank accounts are normally used by the rich men and women who go and use their money using what we call the OPM, operating on other people's money theory, and they become richer and they leave you still timing on the treadmill. Point number five, poor people know it all. When you go to sports, they're the first ones to tell you how the VAR worked last night between Cameroon and Ivory Coast. When you go to matters politics, they're the ones who know will become the president of the Republic of Kenya. When you go to how the government has failed in meeting some obligations and some promises that they made during the election period, they'll give you that. Poor people, they know it all. But rich people continuously read. They normally convert their vehicle into a lifelong university. They normally listen to audios. They listen to what we call A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. They normally listen to what we call Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. They normally listen to this man called Mr. Barack Obama, the former president of US. Imagine the audacity of hope. They normally listen to these books, Who Moved My Cheese. They normally listen to this book, the Richest Man in Babylon. Those are the kind of audio books. But in our case, we don't do that. So poor people, they know it all, but rich people, they continually read and they enter into what we call long life university. Now, number 6, poor people believe money is the root cause of all evils. You can imagine, poor people, they believe that money is the root of all evils. Rich people believe that poverty is actually what is the root of all evils. Thank you very much, Mr. George Kenywa, my good friend, for quite a long time. Thank you so much. So listen to this, my brother, Mr. George Kenywa. Listen, poor people believe money is the root of all evils, whereas rich people believe that poverty is the root cause of all evils. Where do we get crime? Where do we get crime? Where do we get what we call drug abuse? Where do we get all sorts of problems? Where do we get killings? It's actually because those are the people without money, poverty, that makes people fight. It is lack of money that makes people to indulge in other social vices. So the poor people, they believe money is the root of all evils, whereas the rich people, they believe that poverty is the root of all evils. I can't believe with them any better. Point number 7, poor people have tendencies of postponing, but rich people have action mentality. Oh my goodness. Let me take a few minutes on this. Poor people have tendency of postponing ideas. Rich people, they have action mentality. We've been talking about so many things. I have talked about education policies for our children to as many people that I can't even count. Very many people. January is here with us. People are borrowing money for their children's education. I have talked about education policy. And the reason as to why the Chinese people came up with the pulley, it is purely to make work easier. The reason as to why men and women sat and they did very, very tedious and rigorous exams of what we call actuary, they came up with what we call ideas of coming up with education policy, where you save money for your child, such that when the child is joining the class you want him to be educated, you start getting money. How many of us are doing that? We know, but we don't do. We have been provided with information we don't do. I have shared this information with you for those who normally watch me on my programs. You are still daring. Poor people have this procrastinating mentality. Rich people have action mentality. They know when to do it. We have talked about retirement. We have talked about personal accident. We have talked about domestic package. We have talked about goods in transit. We have talked about fire and burglary. But most of us people, we assume that these things are meant for the rich people. But when we get hit by the catastrophe, that is when we start now reflecting. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope the 7 points I've given to you today will make you take a paradigm shift. It will make you change the way you see your things. It does not matter how many problems you are going through. You can still, there's never too late to take the route that takes you to the desired destination. So can you take a paradigm shift? Can you become transformed mentally? Can you start now seeing life from a different horizon? Can you get out of the comfort zone that you have been operating from and go to another region? Even for Abraham to be blessed, God had to remove him from the familiar territory. So I look forward to all of you, people taking that particular route, change. Thank you very much, Madam Warogoro, Milka. I thank God for you. And I believe we shall be different people. Hii maneno ya kila wakati kusema hakuna nini happy unajua kwetu, that story will not change the narrative. It will not change the narrative. Changing the narrative means taking a total 360 degrees turn around. You must change and you turn to the direction that you think will give you the results desired. And learn to consult. Majority of you people don't consult. You do things in your own way. You have tried doing things in your own way for the last 10, 15 years, and the results have not been evident. Why don't you? I thank God for that Daktari who called me from Tomotomo. I salute you from Tomotomo. Thank you, Daktari, because you found it necessary. Yes, you're a medical doctor. You're in the medical environment, but you called me because you know my other side is finances and business. And I'm telling you, your life will never be the same again. Most of us, we assume too much. That assumption will not take us anywhere. So let's learn to consult. Consult with us. Ask me, what is say that I can do to change my life? One will accuse you for actually consulting. As a matter of fact, the more you consult, the more better you become in life. Learn to consult. Nobody knows it all. We are not knows it all, even us. We consult. And with those few remarks, I think my day already past 6, and I thought it was good for me to share with you those points, the 7 things poor people do that rich people don't, and I hope they'll be able to help you change a little bit. Poor people watch TV, rich people don't read books. Poor people get paid on time, rich people get paid on results and performance. Poor people blame others for their misfortunes, rich people take responsibility for their failures. Poor people focus on savings, rich people focus on investment. Poor people know it all, rich people continually read. My goodness. We are saying poor people believe money is the root of all evils. Poverty is the root of all evils. Poor people have this procrastinate. Rich people have action-oriented mentality. The choice is yours. May God bless you. I want to wish you a very good evening and shalom, shalom, shalom. May God bless all of you.